about this. I'm listening to a YouTube audio reading of Anna, the grandmother of Jesus. And oh my gosh, I'm blown away. She's only 400 years old. And I'm on chapter 7, and there's like 9 more hours. And so I just have to stop the video and like, I wanted to call a friend, but no one's available to talk to me on the phone. So I thought, okay, I'll just channel Saint Anne, Grandma Anne, Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, friend Aunt. She wants to be my friend. And I was like, wow, oh my gosh, that would be the best, to have like my friend be as wise as this figure in history that I'm learning about, who is, I don't know, putting words to it would just diminish it, right? So I'm going to do just that right now. Anna, my friend, my grandmother friend, my crone, my Croney. My Croney. Oh my God, that's so funny. Okay, you have a sense of humor. We must have been friends. We must have been friends during your lifetime, like like old lady friends. It's like that kind of laughter that like it's an inside joke that also requires you both having read something. You know, the best joke. Wow. You were alive for 600 years. So how many people did you meet in your lifetime? I mean, you could have met people and then they had another life and you knew them in both lifetimes. But the kind of friendship we had was like, you were at least 400 when we knew. So maybe I don't know who I am in the story yet, but she's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that was the funniest thing I think I've ever heard. Okay, enough. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble putting words to this because it's so goofy. It's like really profoundly joyful. It's like you just smile on the inside. I'm smiling on the inside. Like that laughter is deep. It's deep. So she's opening me up to joy. And I've been hearing, not verbally, but a knowing. That we live on a slavery planet. We live on a slavery planet. So imagining bliss is a radical act. Okay. For a slave to dream, for a slave to look outside, that's the process you have to learn to become free right now. And the process is understand you're a slave. Because slaves develop belief systems that help them exist as a slave. So you give up hopes and you just focus on survival and you kind of make survival bearable. You make it fun. Well, the door's been open now. The door's open for the slaves, the slavery condition on the planet, the human condition, you know, suffering. The door is open for that, for you to leave that slavery system. But you're still staring at the wall. You don't know the door's been open yet. So we're all standing outside the door going, yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo, over here, look over here. Okay, but you got to understand how to deal with someone who's been traumatized. Okay, they live in a world where it works for them. Okay, it works for them as it is. You can't yank someone out of a paradigm. We've tried. We've tried. It's much easier if you kind of like go into the cell with them and stand next to them. And they might not even be able to move because they've been holding still for so long. Zoning out on something numbing coming from their brain. Something numbing that helped them cope with the pain. Okay? You stand next to them and you go, maybe with your shoulder a little bit. Or a hand on the shoulder. Okay, let's not be too chummy yet. Okay. Hand on the shoulder. Okay? Do you understand what you would do with an injured animal? Okay? You'd be very gentle with them, right? Okay? There's patterns to these stories. As you caretake for people, you learn about caretaking, and then you can give it to yourself. And as you give yourself caretaking, you find the healer inside you to stand up straight, roll your shoulders back, look around, pay attention, be quiet. Don't get distracted. Notice who's distracting you. Who's trying to get your attention, and who's trying to tell you what to do, and is it helpful? If someone's trying to tell you what to do and it is helpful, listen to them. If someone's trying to tell you what to do and it doesn't feel right, pause. Examine that. It's you looking at a mirror of yourself, offering you something to learn. And if it rubs you wrong, it's getting your attention for a reason. And send light and be gentle and hold space for yourself to experience the lesson there. Because if it's a sharp lesson, you'll get triggered unless you learn how to know who you are and be in observation mode as much as possible, so that when those moments where you normally go immediately into triggered unconscious mindset, instead you look at it and you're like, oh, I can breathe so slow that when I tell myself to take a breath, it lasts for like 30 seconds, and I can take 30 seconds to pause before I react. 30 seconds, 10 seconds is fantastic, okay? But if you learn how to breathe, which you've got access to all day long, that breath becomes a tool. Okay, even pop culture knows take a deep breath is going to calm you down. Imagine if you get to understand that wisdom more. What does 3 breaths do? What does holding your breath do? What does quick breathing do? What does short, shallow, deep? What does breathing with your thoughts do? What can you do with your thoughts while you breathe? Where can you take your breath in your body? What's happening when we're moving our breath through our body? Studying what you can do with your breath. Could take years. It could take lifetimes to understand what you can do with your breath. We're trying to teach it to you right now. We're trying to teach it to you like over one lifetime. Okay, yeah, we're trying to do that. So that's the big challenge of what we're going through right now. But there's been a lot put into this chess game. And that's the fun. That's where the popcorn comes in, because it is going to blow your mind. You guys haven't even found out the truth about the aliens yet. Okay, you have no idea what aliens are. You guys don't even know if aliens exist yet. Okay, we need some storytellers to step up. And Kelly has been volunteered as that entity to step onto Earth and tell a story so that you guys are ready to find out that the aliens are your ancestors, okay? They're your ancestors. I mean, look at Sumeria. Basic history tells us that there were star beings. We've been lied to. Astrology is a measurement and a calendar and a history keeper, all in one. Why do you think they're separate? Why do you think history and storytelling would be separate? Why do you think that? Because you grew up in an education system that separated everything. That's why we like Waldorf, because you're blending things again. You blend math with science, with history, and you spend time in nature. You teach kids woodwork. You teach kids about math by looking at flowers and symmetry and divine geometry. And they walk while they do it. And they dance while they do it. And they celebrate the seasons. And they're generous, and they live in community. What's to argue with? What's to argue with? That's the correct education that we should have, as the Waldorf education. So, okay, do you believe me that I'm channeling the Lemurian ascension codes right now? I'm asking myself that. Do I think that? They're trying to send me ever so subtle hints that that's what's happening. I do, yes. Anna, okay. I don't think, did I channel yet? I didn't channel yet. You've been making me laugh. I'm gonna channel now. I have no idea. Just talk. Kelly. Yes, my dear friend. I have many, many, many friends. That's why I can address all of you as friends. I was alive for a long time, and I was able to begin some educational lineages for women because of the mother being veiled on the planet. The women's voices were silenced. So part of my purpose of being a woman in that lifetime was to initiate the sisters in the ways, but veil it so that it was protected. So you're gonna find out the history now of our history. You're gonna have to feel it. But just know, paradise is here. Heaven is on earth now. Paradise is here. The old regime is gone. The new regime is set. The divine masculines are gonna wake up and protect the feminine. That's why it's time for women to rise. Because we're no longer being silenced. And you shut down your hearts because it hurt too much to listen to your heart. You were traumatized into not listening to your heart. But the good news is, this is where it gets fun. Because you go from being wounded to being taken care of, to healing, to being grateful. For that help. And then you want to give back. Because your heart understands the wisdom of compassion. It's a really good time to be alive. Really good time. It's a remembering of joy. So the highest version of joy you can imagine right now is probably pretty miserable compared to what you're going to experience throughout the rest of this lifespan. The highest possible joy you can imagine today is still miserable compared to the kind of joy you're going to feel 10, 15 years from now. That's the direction that these light codes are going to take us. Follow your bliss. If you have a teacher, this can be your litmus test for whether or not you trust a teacher. Would they recommend you to follow your bliss? If they recommend you to follow your bliss, I think they're pretty safe to listen to. Okay, if they've got all kinds of rules about what that looks like, no, I'm done with rules, yo. I literally want to live among the soil and the clay. I just want to live among the soil and the clay. Nature be my boss. I want nature to be my boss. Okay, I want the forest and the land and biology to be my boss. Okay, you tell me what to do. I don't trust another human being. We're merging, Anna. That's what happens, Kelly, because in the 3D, everything's separate, but in the 5D, we merge. We merge. So it's like you kind of lose track of who's who. You're just like, we're all partying over here, whatever, we're having fun, it's good times. I forget who's who. I kind of sort of know who's here, but I forget who exactly is here. So, yeah. So this is the goal for the path to your higher self. Find a way to feel safe to feel again. Okay, your oxytocin is only going to be activated when your heart is listening to its own truth. If someone else is trying to tell you something, it's going to close your heart off. That's why. When we said keep your kids' hearts open, we want you to allow them to express their truth somehow, Kel. That's how you keep their heart open. You got to ask them what's their heart saying. And even if a lot of what they're hearing is filtered through their society, that's okay. That's their language. That's their programming. So asking your kids to question things, asking them questions so that they're thinking about things, that's how you keep their heart open. Give them a voice somehow. Give them an outlet. Maybe it's not words. Maybe it's art. Maybe it's sports. Let them make decisions about what their preferences are somehow. Okay, they gotta have freedom to keep the communication between their mind and their heart open. We play. Okay. Oh, we're going to have many more conversations. We are. And you can feel it, Kelly, because you and I are merging, and so we can share a vision. And I can hold the fifth dimensional breadth of what is possible for you. And then you can glimpse it as much as you can while I'm holding the space for you. It's going to take belief, faith, practice to be able to see with your third eye what someone in the 5D is holding for you to see. Okay? So when you and I merge and your question is about the future, you go into a feeling imagery perception, merging my feelings with my visuals in my mind. I merge my feeling with the visuals. Sometimes they're words, sometimes they're images, sometimes they're people, sometimes they're feelings that just have tangibility, whatever. I just kind of cognitively know what it is. And when I'm merging my feeling with the intention and the imagery, I just invite love to filter what I see. Just ask the Holy Spirit. Love. What does that mean? And I breathe. And I trust that whatever I see after that is the channeled message. It's the answer. I'm asking her for advice on my kids right now and my life and my goal, my safety. I just want to feel safe. Why is that too much to ask that I just feel safe? I don't feel safe yet. What's going on with that? We are withholding confirmation of your safety because we want you to keep asking these questions about how do I figure out how to feel safe, because answering that question from multiple different perspectives will help many different people hear the answer they need to hear. So keep asking, how do I feel safe today? 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 Okay? Go ahead, you can make a series. We'll tell you 50 different ways to feel safe, okay, Cal? Okay. Okay, you gotta go. Love you. Bye.